what is something that you tried? What's like the biggest failure so far that you've had? Like straight up, like the most tangible failure that you lost money on that you never will go back to.
Oh man. Okay. This is gonna get. Oh, gosh, do I even want to say this?
Have to.
Okay, I won't say any names.
Okay.
Fuck. They're gonna know who they are. Okay. I mean, it's a bold podcast, so I mean, I guess we're gonna be bold. So when I first, it was the first year. I think it was like the first year, and I ended up getting a $10,000 loan, and
Yeah, hold on. How many loans have you gotten in the entirety of Ghostfit?
one.
This was it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it was a $10,000 loan, and I went into this meeting, and it was with this content creator, and they're like, we'll do these videos for you. We'll, this, and the third, right? And they're like, it's $10,000, and I was like, awesome, got $10,000 loan, and dude, I don't want to say I wish I never did it because it put into perspective like
Butterfly effect.
Exactly. Who to trust, who not to trust. It was just, I was so naive. Like they were telling me, hey, we're going to make, it was like 3 videos. Yeah, 3 videos, and they were like a minute long for $10,000. And to me, I was looking at the company. I was like, dude, you have a big name. You have a big social media following. I was like, dude, we're going to release these videos and we're going to be fucking millionaires, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I never should have done it. I never should have done it.
So,
it was a bad decision on my end, but I had to learn the hard way.
Why did they like straight up like pocket it and then go to Jamaica?
No. I wish they would have, so that we could have got something out of the $10,000. Fuck. No. So they created the videos. They were decent videos, right?
Okay.
But they weren't to the expectation that I thought that they would be.
So you paid them before the videos were made.
Yeah. So I think I only ended up paying them. It was like $6,000 because I was verbally upset, rightfully so, right? I didn't get the assets that I thought I would be getting, and just the business. That's really when I learned that this whole thing is about relationships. Dude, this relationship was
Toxic.
It really was bad though. And I'm not saying it like, oh, I'm a drama queen. Dude, a lot of people that have worked with this individual had said the same thing. I'm not going to say his name because that's just, I wouldn't do that. But yeah, when I think about, what was it? My word, I'm getting a little heated now.
What was it? The
worst failure?
Yeah, just like the most tangible failure that you can point to and be like, that was a fuck up.
Yeah.
But was it though? In hindsight, was it?
From a monetary standpoint at that current time, yes, it was.
Did that contribute to you going to the 3K hole?
No. 3K hole was before that. And then I was like, hey, I ended up getting out of that. And then I was like, all right, I need to switch my marketing plan. Met these guys. And then actually it was the one dude. And then ended up getting a $10,000 loan. And then basically blew that whole check. And I was like, all right, dude, wow. I still don't know. After a year and a half, I still don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was like kind of like an ego shot, basically. Because I imagine you worked super hard to get out of the 3K hole.
Yeah.
And then you made a decision that I guess you have to look in the mirror and be like, I fucked up.
Yeah. Well, dude, the hard part about now is like, knowing what I know now, it's like, dude, I could have took that 10K. I could have went to Jordy, got way more videos, probably just as good as quality, much cheaper, could have paid him, could have spent it on this, and this, right? Like, 10,000, I'm not going to say 10,000 is a crazy amount of money, but if you want to put it towards something to help your business grow, like that's a decent amount of money.
Yeah.
So yes, it was a mistake at the time, but I'm glad that it was only $10,000 compared to 10 million. You know what I mean? At some point, you have to learn the hard way, and hopefully that was my hard lesson for the time being.
Well, it sounds like I can already see the headline. It's like the $10,000 mistake that taught me 10 million. Like $10 million of knowledge through $10,000. What is it? Tell me your secret. But so since then, have you had to like fend off imposters, like people that you like?
Take it to the video game level now.
I am. That's what
I like it.
PS4. You're playing PS4. So do you see people that are like, yeah, I want to throw money at you, and you're like, no way. Like, do you do a little more research, and you're like, no way, this smells like a skunk?
No, not honestly, not too much. I mean, we've had we've had people that I genuinely trust that are like, hey, if you ever need money, like, I would love to like invest, something like that, but not like come to us like how that altercation was. I think the biggest thing that, and I'm sure that a lot of people that have apparel businesses on social media have witnessed this. I'm not kidding you. At least 5 times a week, we get manufacturers that slide into the DM, send us pictures. Hey man, are you interested in buying these leather coats, these this and that? It's like, no,
No, I'm not.
at first I used to entertain them because I was like, okay, we got some traction. Like, is the first sign of respect. I thought, right?
Yes.
I'm a brand, and they're recognizing me as an apparel brand, dude. But now you just swipe and press delete. They don't even know that I read it. But that's really like the only thing that we get from imposters.
Huh.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there is a lot of with social media being a weapon and a marketing tool comes like it enables a lot of thievery, scamming, imposters. Like you're playing PS4, so you gotta be cognizant of it.
Yeah.
I would think. And it's Instagram. Instagram is pretty much your big tool, your big marketing channel to get the word out, right? To show your clothes off, right? Would you say that?
Yeah, Instagram, YouTube. I want to become a big one. Will become a big one.
Boom.
Don't let me say want. Will become a big one. And everyone thinks it's dead, but it's not. Email marketing.
Okay.
Click rates. I'm going to sound a little bit nerdy. Click rates are down quite a bit.
Give me the forecast. Give me the weather forecast.
Dude, if we can get 20% open rates, I mean, I'm happy with that. No, but that's a big one as well. Just because, say you have 10,000 emails and 20% of people open it, I mean, you're still getting a good amount of people looking at your advertisement. But dude, like Instagram is king. I mean, Gary Vee says it best. Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. It's like ABC, NBC, Fox. Like that's what everyone watches now. It's the news for our generation.
So that begs the question: when are you gonna get in your light blue sleeveless hoodie? Got the muscles going. When are you gonna do some TikTok dances? I can't.
The
Ghostfit going.
So we have a TikTok actually, and I think we have like 3 videos on it, dude. But so my nephews and nieces, they're like around 10 years old, let's say. Dude, they love TikTok. So I tell them, I'm like, do TikTok, on our page. Dude, they're so scared though. It's like they'll do it like with their friends, and then I'll do it, right? And they're like, "Oh, I'm not gonna do it in front of my uncle." It's like, dude, take my fucking phone, go do some TikToks, and go post it.
Please, need content.
I love you.
Please do it. Oh, that's funny, yeah. And it's funny because Instagram started as a joke. Like TikTok kind of started as a joke too. So that makes you wonder, what the hell is next? Is it because obviously TikTok has something Instagram didn't, like the editing elements of it. You can put in weird sounds, you can distort yourself, you can do this, you can do that.
Yeah.
What's next? What is the next social media thing? Because that obviously will be the new marketing wave.
Yeah, dude, that's like I think that's $1 million question, right? Because if you think about it, there has to be thousands of social media platforms, but every year only 1 or 2 or 3 actually like submerge. Submerge? No.
Emerge. Submerge. You go underwater.
Yeah.
Is it an underwater social media? I don't know. Atlantis Twitter.
So it's a very
Ghostfit swimsuits. That's it. Bikinis.
So I feel like that would be like a good if you could make the next big social media platform, dude. We'll have a lot more lights. We'll probably be fucking like in like California record this. So,
Silicon Valley.
Dude, you tell me. Yeah. Silicon.
I don't know. Minnesota. I don't know. But no, and I remember we had an interesting conversation about like the future of retail itself, like the retail shop. Your eyes are lighting up.
This is interesting.
So, because I was asking you, is COVID going to impact retail negatively or positively? And the negative argument was brick and mortar stores are done because nobody's going into offices. Everybody's seeing like possibilities of working from home. Our office is done. Our brick and mortar done. Our mall's done. Is it going to change, the way humans feel about interacting closely with other humans, 6 feet, or less? And you thought that Retail was going the other way. You thought it was going to be more of an experience to go to the store, go to the brick and mortar store.
Yeah. So I think it's good. It's like any industry, right? Every industry has a hurdle that it has to get over. And for brick and mortar, this is going to be that hurdle. And you're going to see, this is what I think, right? Who am I to say?
I want to hear it.
Who am I to say, but this is what I think. There are going to be a lot of brick and mortar that are like, all right, we don't have the innovation to continue to go, so we're just going to go solely online, e-commerce. But then you're going to see these big giants that are going to kill it in this game, right? And I think like I said, it's going to be more of an experience thing. I think that VR is definitely going to play a role into it, right? I mean, there's already this company. I don't know what company it is, but it's a glasses company, and so you buy them online, but it takes your camera and it shows you what it'll look like when you have the glasses on, right? So obviously like they have it on Snapchat where you can do like filters, but this looks like crazy insane. They did a side by side of someone actually wearing the glasses and then being on the app ordering it, and it's like you barely can tell a difference, right? So if you can do that in person, which I think that, you know, big brands like, I don't know, Targets and Walmarts and like these big brands that consume everyone, it's going to be more of that experience where it's like you go there not to just buy the product, but there's going to be an emotional aspect of it as well, because you have to, right? Because of COVID and people being scared to go into retail and to actually like be around people. I don't know how long it'll last, but they have to have a differentiating factor that makes it unbelievably like attractive to go do that. And that's what it's going to be, I think.
You think we should expect, or you're just speculating that it'll turn into like a VR fest at retail brick and mortar stores?
I think it has to, right? I think that's just the natural progression that not just retail is going to go, but a lot of different things in life, right? I mean, you're already seeing it with video games. You know, my cousin actually just bought the Oculus set. You know what that is? Yeah. So before you had to hook it up to your computer, and now it's just like a headset. It's like, dude, it's going to be integrated in so many ways. And so if you can, one thing with retail the reason why I think this is because think of how many people put on clothes and then don't actually buy them, right? Put on clothes, don't actually buy them. You have to refold them. You know, people are actually wearing them physically. So it's like, you know, with COVID and like all this kind of, you know, just being, you know, hygienic and, you know, clean, right? If you can see yourself wearing it without actually wearing it, it's like, dude, that's a steal. Like,
yes,
you have to do that, right? That's a huge advantage.
So if I was a Ghostfit customer, this is what I'd be looking for, which I am a Ghostfit customer. But we'll say I'm 10 years in the future, just got back from Mars. I go to the, you know, Ghostfit retail store and I throw on the shirt and I'm like, okay, how do I feel in this if I'm working out? That's one box, takes me to a gym, passes the test. I bench well in it, sure.
Yeah.
Then what's another setting? Wearing this to like a bar maybe, you know, the Smack Shack, Minneapolis, something like that. How do I feel eating shrimp in it? Okay, I feel good. Didn't spill. Good. That's good. That's another checkbox. Where else would you want to be implanted into?
Dude, just walking around the city.
Okay.
Yeah.
Walking around the city. Expand on that. Looking at the sunset, or?
Dude, looking at the sunset.
What about the city?
Dude, this is the thing, man. If you can walk and feel comfortable, dude, that's what Ghostfit's about.
I actually wake up. This is gonna sound like an infomercial, but I literally wake up and put on one of my two Ghostfit pants. I swear to God, it sounds like an infomercial, but I swear to God, I do it. So that's another part. Like in the post-COVID era, more people probably working from home.
Yeah.
How do I feel sitting at the desk, walking around the kitchen in my Ghostfit? I feel good. So that passes tests right there. Aside from VR, what are some unpredictable factors that you could see being implemented into retail stores? Like shit that is just so unbeknownst to our current society.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
I think the way that Amazon is doing shipping, I think that's going to almost become universal, where it's like one-day shipping, basically. You know, you have drones now, right? Like you should be able to, there's no way that you shouldn't be able to buy a TV and basically get it the same day. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to buy a shirt from wherever and get it the same day.
Fair. Or like, honestly, in the future, it's going to get to the point where it's the same minute. I'm not kidding.
Who?
It will. I'm serious. It'll get to that point. Like, it'll be a 4-dimensional world at some point soon. I'm dead ass serious. And so you can't have these inconvenient shipping delays, obviously.
Yeah. This is really interesting since we're on this point. So it was like early 1900s, right? And they were interviewing, they were like some of the smartest people in the world about what the future transportation is going to look like, right?
Is this before the dune buggy? Is that the first car? Is that the right?
Oh, you're talking about the Ford,
But before the Ford, it was like the horse and buggy.
Okay,
Yeah,
got it, got it.
And then it went to the Ford, something like that. But
yeah. So basically,
Yes.
they were talking about like trains and boats, like how they're going to be so efficient and effective, like in 100 years, basically. And then you see, it's like, oh, we have planes and we have way better ways of transportation than steamboats now. You know what I mean? But that's all they could compare it to because that's what was relevant at their time, right? It's so hard to extrapolate
That's
on
all they could
something when it's not there.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like when we're talking about the reason why I'm saying this is because we're saying like, oh, it's same day shipping. Dude, like what if like shipping isn't even a thing in 100? Like what if that's just out of the equation, right? Where like gas, like, oh, you used to get gas? Oh, like the sun powers my car, right? Like things like that. It's like, dude, it's almost like, it's fucking throwing rocks at, with the stick. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
no, honestly, it's mind blowing because okay, you think of a shopping experience and you think immediately of the 5 basic senses, right?
Yeah.
What is it? Sight, touch, smell, feel, and
Taste. Do you say taste?
I don't know, 5 or 6, whatever. I feel like we don't even know like the 7th and the 8th, maybe even 9th and 10th senses. I don't know.
Can you explain that?
Okay, so let's take a 3D object for example.
Yeah.
I read a lot of weird stuff, and I've seen.
Dude, I can't tell.
I know I'm a weird cat, but there's said to be like 4th and 5th dimensions out there, which obviously I can't even think or explain because we're just unaware of it. Like if you would have looked at this common folk butcher in the 1940s and given him an iPhone, he'd have been like hammered into the brick because he wouldn't know what to do with it.
Right.
So where did this even start? Because you were talking about the 1900s transportation, right?
Yeah. Basically, what he thought the future was going to look like with transportation, and then it's like, all right, dude, you're clearly from the 1900s because that's fucking way out of here.
Yes. Case in point, we have no idea what new elements will be in the
Right.
retail industry. So is there anything you can do or that you've thought of doing to prepare for whatever the unknown is? Because we have no idea. This thing is, society is literally exponentially accelerating. Like, we have cars parking themselves in less than 5 years. 10 years ago, if you had a TV in your car, you looked like you were Jordan Belfort. Like,
Right.
it's exponentially going. So it could come sooner than later is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So what's like the most wild thing that you prepared yourself for in terms of the retail industry?
Dude, see, this is hard because we currently aren't really in retail that much, right?
So do you want to go to retail even? Is that the question?
100%, right? When I think about scaling, right? So when I think about scaling, there's different ways of scaling. I'm not going to get too much into it, but there's marketing, and then there's different sorts of marketing. Obviously, like going into retail, having them sell, having ambassadors. Like there's tons of ways, but definitely retail is one of the ways that we want to.
And where would you even start? Would you literally just, like you were saying earlier, you want to get in touch with Target 5 years down the line? Why not call them tomorrow? Or is there a checkpoint you need to hit before you call a Target? Would you need to call a smaller scale retailer?
So this is why. Well, one, I look at our brand a lot more valuable than a brand that's in Target, right? If you look at Target, they're selling
Goodfellow.
joggers for I mean, granted, that's completely fine.
I like
brand.
Goodfellow.
Yeah, they probably do a lot in revenue every year.
Use promo code George for your next Goodfellow.
But so there's kind of like logistics that go with it, right? So when you go into a big corporate store, they're gonna say, hey, like we want all the money up front. All right, we want you to be able to provide this amount of apparel each month. If we don't sell X amount, then you have to buy it back from us, right? So there's a lot of stipulations that go into it. So what most companies usually do before they go into big corporate, especially as a small startup company, is that they'll find like boutiques or they'll find smaller stores where it's like they'll just outright buy those products from you, right? So if I go to a boutique that wants to carry 50 joggers from us, they'll buy 50 joggers from us, and then like that's we're done, right? We're now in that boutique store they have to deal with selling it. But when you go to, Dick's Sporting Goods, Shields, Targets, Walmarts, they just understand the industry so well, and they're not gonna lose, right? They won't lose.
They'll make it so that they have minimal risk, if not zero.
Exactly. So obviously, is there a time and a place to, be in a store like that? Of course. But I think that, it's all about scaling and like being able to, are you selling hundreds of thousand units, a month? Yes. Well, then that's probably a good place for you because they have a ton of traffic. But, if you give them, right, 1,000 units and they only sell 500, they're like, hey, Josh, you have to buy the rest of the 500 back. It's like, all right, we've basically done nothing now. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think it's a time and a place sort of thing.
Have you listed any of your products online anywhere else other than the Ghostfit website?
I haven't, but I've seen them online in other places. So there's.
So you think people are literally flipping your stuff?
Dude, I know for a fact that they are. Dude, there's websites. Yeah, there's websites right now that you can look. You can type in Ghostfit, and I forget what Poshmark is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's on there.
Shut up.
Yeah. After this, we can look it up.
Do you get pissed off?
No, because we still make the sale. So someone has to buy it from us and then they resell it. So it's like, okay, now, more than one person can see our product. I mean, it doesn't really affect me. It's just more like, dude, like, why?
Why?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
wow.
We've looked into Amazon, right? Selling on Amazon. I think that'll probably be something that we do in the future. There are, certain like stipulations with that, but no, I haven't personally. But it is on other websites than ghostfitapparel.com if you want apparel.
I mean, you could, play with the prices. You could sell a bunch to, Billy Joe and tell him, hey, go over there, jack up the prices, and then that will redirect maybe people back to our website where it's 70% lower, right? If people are seeing your product and they see it valued at that number, because I can tell you right now, like the big brands like Lulu, I have Lulu pants. These are literally as comfortable. This is an infomercial again. But if you put in people's minds that your product is worth that much money, like if their emotional attachments get synced up with that monetary value, you can jack the price up.
Dude, that's the thing. Okay, if you take 10 of your favorite brands, right? Obviously, this isn't going to work for all of them. But if you take 10 of your favorite brands and you take the logos off of all of them, a lot of them you won't be able to tell a difference, right? It's really that story and building that perception about like what your brand is and who it's for. That's why you're not really selling the way I think about it. I'm not selling apparel. I'm selling like a story about why we sell apparel. You know what I mean? So it has to be much bigger than just the joggers, just the long sleeve and the shirt, because everyone does that, right? There's hundreds of thousands of people who sell apparel, but if you can sell a story that makes people feel good and actually affects them in a positive way, that's how Nike becomes better than this brand, and that's why this brand becomes better than this brand. That's why Apple becomes better than you know what I mean. Like there's differentiating factors outside of the products that they make for the consumer.